Hello and welcome back on my YouTube channel, Parth Doshi Learning by Doing. So today in this video, we are going to see one of the very interesting documentation and a very helpful documentation that I found. That is going to be UiPath glossary. Now, many times there are some terms which we cannot remember, or we look for some important terms, right? Like before jumping into a client meeting, that what are the important things that you can tell to the client, or there are different things when you communicate within your organization as well. So sometimes there are some that kind of technical term used in context of UiPath which we either cannot remember or have no idea about, but UiPath has combined them into an amazing documentation that I have found. And this is going to be a bit of long video, but we are going to go through each of the word in UiPath glossary. So this is the UiPath glossary as we can see over here. So right from letter A till letter W, whatever activities or whatever important words there are there, that we are going to see. So let me just zoom in a bit. Okay, so yeah, maybe I think this is fine. Okay, so let's start with letter A. Now account is something we all are aware about, right? If you hover, you will be able to see the definition as well. But account, like when you go to cloud.uipath.com, let me show them with the practicality as well. So here you have to choose your account, right? Sign in with another account provider, forget account. So that is what this is. Refer to a user access to UiPath properties. For example, a user can create an account using their email address and password to access UiPath products online. Like we saw Automation Cloud, which is this cloud.uipath.com. Now action. Task to be performed or undertaken by a user when intervention is required in order to proceed to the next step in long running workflow. This is nothing but when we talk about UiPath Action Center. In that, what happens? We send a request, right? Or we send an action to our action center, and the human validates that, be it UiPath forms, be it document understanding, it can be anything, but that is an action which is sent to UiPath Action Center, and upon the user approval or denial, whatever it is of the action, for the process is done. Now, with respect to them, what is action catalog? Action container where the user can categorize actions. Now, let's remember this with the very layman definition. Catalog is something where you see all things at one place. So in the same way, action catalog is a categorization of actions. Activity we all are aware about, right? Activities are what are used to develop the automation. Arguments also we are aware about. Arguments are used to pass from data from one workflow to other. So let me open UiPath as well. So maybe we can have a look at that topic as well. So here we are not only just reading the theory of the topics, but we are practically seeing it where what is present, right? So yeah, now if I open the workflow over here, we can see arguments. So arguments are used to pass something from one workflow to other. Now coming back to component. Now component is something that you build that does a specific number of tasks. Let's go through the formal definition. Pieces of code that help you create a clear and smooth automation process. Within UiPath, the following component types are defined. Custom activity, snippet. So that is something that you have built using 2 or 3 activities, as we can see over here, snippet. Now this loops which are there, if I double click this, now this is something which is pre-built for me, right? If you see over here, I don't have to again and again use this activity. So component is something that you can reuse within your other automation as well. COE is Center of Excellence. It is a dedicated team that functions within an organization that looks after the complete automation happening, right from requirement gathering to building the automation, the hypercare and everything. Now, component is something that we saw that you combine the pieces of code and build something. Now, connector is something that you use to connect your UiPath Studio to some other application. Let's read the definition. An application connector is a component that enables UiPath products to connect with other applications. A very simple example can be ServiceNow connectors, right? Jira characters. So there are many different integrations available in UiPath, in which case we use connectors and connect to our different application. Custom activity, all are aware about. We can develop custom activity in two ways. The one is this library and the other is using the Visual Studio Code. Even if you see over here, create reusable components that when published and turned into a Nupcage package, it can be used as a custom activity. So we are done with the letter C as well. E. Environment is something we all see in the orchestrator. So let me just quickly sign in. Okay, let's go to our orchestrator. So environment is something that defines your environment in which your bots are getting executed. It can be testing environment, it can be development environment, it can be non-production, it can be production. So in that way, you can define different environments within which multiple robots will be getting executed. Now, if I come to my default folder and if I go over here, I have different types of environment defined. So within integration, I can have my integration bots, which are integrating with ServiceNow, Jira. Sales, I can have that kind of bots. UiPath apps, I can have over here. YouTube video, like I'm recording right now, I can have that bots within this particular environment. So environment is something in which you can have your multiple robots getting executed. Let's go through the definition. Grouping of robots in a classic folder, which enables the user to execute process on multiple robots simultaneously. Now, local field, official field, packages field, and the floating robot. If I come over here, go to manage packages and go to settings, you see local, official, and the third one which we have is packages field, right? So local field is something, the packages that you are installing are available at this particular local path. Official, the packages or the nugget files are coming from this particular path. So these are the different place where your activities or where your namespaces or where your packages are present, and from which it is being visible over here in all packages. Or if you go particularly over here in official, right, you see this kind of all the packages. If you go over here in local, you can see all this. So .NET, it's completely .NET based, right? And the third one that we have is packages field, repository of packages that allows you to store and group packages in order to control their availability and isolation. So this is something related to this only, that where you have your package to. Now, floating robot. We have many times till now created standard robot, but what is floating robot? So like the name suggests, floating, it can be moved here and there. So orchestrator entity that controls the connection capabilities of UiPath. Robot with respect to host machine on which it is installed. A floating robot enables one user to work on multiple workstations. Like I said, a standard robot can be executed on that specific machine only, but a floating robot can be moved here and there on multiple workstations when that particular orchestrator is connected. So this is something like that. Governance. Governance is something that allows you to centrally manage your all the policies. So I'm working on a video which I'll be coming soon with, and that is going to be on automation ops. So if I click over here, now this is used to maintain the governance. Even if you open your UiPath Studio, right, and you go to home, settings, or I think generate governance file, update channel stable preview. So if I do this, company policy name, nothing, modern policy, if I click this, you see governance files, and let me save it in my downloads. Let me come over here, let me go to downloads, extract all. So you see Business Development Studio Pro, here are the different policies that are defined. Now, automation ops is something like that. Here I have defined my policy for widgets, you can define for workflow analyzer and many other things, right? So in this way, this is possible using automation ops. So back to our glossary. Governance is something, global user policy for restrict permissions on feed management. Like I said, workflow analyzer rules, custom widgets, and there are many other things. Host license. Now, host license is something that this is going to be the one important one from which it will be centrally managed. Type of license that aggregates multiple robot license. Like I said, it is going to be a place from where it is centrally managed, right? And which can be allocated to your tenants from a centralized location at host level. Job, execution of process of UiPath robot. We are all aware about that. And jobs are something we Like when we run the process, a job is created and then we can see its logs and different things. Library. Library is Nupkit package consisting of reusable components that can be used as activity in multiple processes. Like I was mentioning about this during the explanation of library and components, this is what library means. Local field is something where your packages are stored locally on the system where UiPath is installed, as you can see over here. Machine template, standard template, and multi-user. Let's go with standard machine. We all are aware about that. We create a machine, we give the domain and username, right? We give the password, and then it is connected to that specific machine only. Once the connection is lost, it shows as disconnected in the orchestrator. But machine template, this is something different than that. So in machine template, you can create, like there was standard robot and floating robot. In the same way, there is standard machine and machine template. Machine template can be used to connect to multiple robots with that orchestrator using the same key, but standard machine cannot allow you to do that. So this is how machine template is. Now, before we move ahead to multi-user, right? Till now, you see there are so many important terms that we have gone through, and just going through this UiPath glossary as well can help you a lot while you talk with people or while you learn yourself. Like there won't be any such term that comes as a surprise to you and you will have no clue about. So here I think most of the very important terms are covered, and this is why I found it very helpful, and I thought of making a video on this to share it with the audience as well, right? So let's go to multi-user. Now a single user is something who uses a single machine, a single robot. Multi-user can perform multiple operations. License allow more than one individual to use UiPath software and hence control entitlements for multiple user on licenses. Recommended for users that works in shift. Each multi-user license can add up to 3 distinct authenticated user to maximum number of user that can be granted access. Let's suppose you work from morning 9 to afternoon 2, then there's another guy coming in, but each of them have their own email ID and they want to work using that in the orchestrator. So we can use this multi-user concept. Now multi-user, again, we saw standard robot, floating robot, we saw standard machine, we saw machine template, we saw multiple user, multi-user. Now named user is something that is specifically entitled to a single user. As you can see over here, license ties the usage of UiPath software to individual user. You must obtain a separate license for each uniquely identified user accessing the product service. So this is again another interesting thing in UiPath. Non-production license functionally identical to unattended license, but as per license agreement, it can be only used for developing / testing unattended processes. So you cannot test attended processes in the non-production environment. Official feed is something we already saw, packages coming from a particular URL. Organization. Now there is a concept where we can define organization, right? Root of a customer organization in UiPath. It is represented by a URL that an enterprise has to access. Now, if you see over here, it is cloud.uipath.com, but when it is hosted on the on-premise server of the organization, this URL will be something else. So if you are working on enterprise version and your organization has its own on-prem orchestrator, you will see something different over here. So that is what organization is. Packages are something we always install. Automation project that has been published. So if we go over here to tenant and to packages, we can have this kind of different packages, as you can see. Packages feed is over here, like we saw in UiPath. My packages, these are my packages feed that we have over here. Floating robot and standard robot is what we understood right now. I'm not sure why it is under R, because it starts with F and S, but yeah, we understood what a floating robot and standard robot is. Service. Instance of UiPath product with an organization or tenant. Example, tenant in organization may have an orchestrator service and an AI Fabric service enabled on it. So if you used AI Center, you will be very much aware about it. Snippet, we just currently saw what are snippets. It are small pieces of code that we can reuse in our system, which are already developed by UiPath. Solution, component containing an end-to-end process automation. This is something very basic, but these are the terms that you can use. Like instead of saying that we have developed a end-to-end bot, you can say we have developed an end-to-end solution with UiPath. So solution is a more technical and a professional word you can use, and this is something within UiPath glossary. So I think they prefer using this word. Standard robot and standard machine, we just already saw. Here it is, standard machine and standard robot. Transaction. Now, if you are someone who has worked with REA framework, we are aware about the transaction, that it is one data that we are processing, a queue item that has been processed, right? Trigger is something when you want to trigger your bot, it can be scheduled, it can be a queue based trigger, it can be a time based trigger. So there are multiple things over there. Webhook. Now I have not very much worked on Webhook, but it is an HTML callback triggered by a user defined in Orchestrator. So in Orchestrator, we have many things with respect to this Webhook, and I'm not very much sure about since I have not worked on that. And workflow, we are all aware about. We develop different types of workflow. There are this workflow template that we see over here. And then there is a workflow template. Now, if you go over here and see this export as template. So this complete workflow will be my template and I can reuse it in my multiple workflows. A login example can be a workflow template. Okay, so I think we are done with the glossary, and this was really interesting, I think, to remember all of these important terms. And now I think like once you again go through this and remember this was like, I think maybe a 15-minute video, but it has helped you a lot to understand different keywords which are there with respect to UiPath glossary. So many times fresher or even experienced people ask me that how can I use more technical words or be aware about the technical words that client or other people will be speaking about them with me. So this is the place from where you can learn the UiPath glossary. I'll put the link in the description as well. But I think this video was helpful and I was able to explain you each of the term. If there is something specific that you have still problem understanding with, feel free to comment in the comment section. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay tuned to all the amazing videos that are coming up. Thank you for watching the complete video.